Hello, Dr. Croker here, and this is a guide to The Dead Ends. We're just here to kill stuff and watch some World's End. Please like and subscribe. I'm releasing guides for every story dungeon and trial in the game, so you always know what's coming. Let's get started. First off, watch out for these puddles. They do 10,000 damage per second when you stand in them. As for the bosses, failing any of their mechanics gives you an increased vulnerability for 2 minutes, so be careful. The first boss is Caustic Grebuloff. A few seconds after engaging him, a wind will start to blow. Then he will cast Miasmata. You will see light blue glowing objects with circular AoE markers under them. These areas will explode for damage, then move along with the wind and continue exploding and dealing damage. Try not to stand in the place where they are going or you'll be hit. Being hit by this puts a nasty debuff on you called Necrosis, which needs to be removed quickly by the healer. He often casts a spell called Cough Up. This will place circular AoE markers at everyone's feet, and it will happen 3 times in quick succession, so everyone needs to move fast. Just after that, there will be red triangles over everyone's head, and everyone will need to stack to reduce the damage. Wave of Nausea puts a massive circular AoE marker on the whole arena, with the middle being the safe spot. Hawk's Flail is a heavy hit on the tank. Just mitigate and heal through it. Blighted Water is one that puts a stack marker on one player and everyone will have to stack to spread the damage when it strikes. Finally, there is Befoulment, which puts circular markers on all players and they need to spread apart to avoid overlap. The second boss is Peacekeeper. He opens the fight with Decimation, which does unavoidable damage to everyone and puts a ring of fire around the edge of the arena that stays for the remainder of the fight. He'll also cast Electromagnetic Repellent, which electrifies his hitbox and hurts any players that stand in it. Order to Fire is a cast where he'll put glowing green turrets all around him, combined with circular AoE markers on every player. To avoid being hit, stand between turrets while also making sure not to overlap the AoE circles. No Future is an ability that puts AoE circles in a pattern moving outward from the center, or moving inward from the outer edge. By judging whether the circles are moving inward or outward, make sure to stand somewhere that the circles aren't heading. Peacefire will put AoE circles moving in a circle around the boss. You need to move along in the same direction they are or else you'll get stuck and be hit. Eclipsing Echost combines a radially outward knockback with large AoE circles on the floor. Simply move toward the center and position yourself to be knocked back into a space between circles. Finally, there is Elimination, which is a heavy hit on the tank, but one that will also hit nearby players, so make sure you aren't near the tank when this one is casting. The final boss is R'Lah, the Last Mercy. This one usually opens with Warm Glow, which does heavy, unavoidable damage to all players, so just heal through it. You'll also see Pity pretty frequently, which is a heavy hit on the tank. Just mitigate and heal through it. Prance is an ability where he will leap around, putting 4 large circles that, combined, cover the entire floor. Just run to where the 4th circle appears, then, as the first circle explodes, go into that empty space to be safe. One of his signature moves is Life's Breath, which does heavy line AoE damage through the middle of the floor, but it is marked so easily avoidable, and it's followed by a line of butterflies. The butterflies will be facing in random directions, and will blast heavy damage in front of them after a few seconds with no marker. Just make sure you are standing behind one to avoid the hit. Benevolence is a simple stack mechanic. Just stack on the player that has the marker. Then there is Loving Embrace, where the boss will raise one glowing wing. Simply go to the other side of him, as the side with the glowing wing will be blasted with heavy damage. Finally, there is Still Embrace, which puts AoE markers on all players, so spread apart to avoid overlapping damage. And that's it for the Dead Ends. Enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.